It's not talked about nearly enough in coaching and mentoring spaces. This one thing that really creates a stabilized identity shift. So when you're trying to establish yourself in more of your ideal reality, it's got to feel safe to you. Otherwise, you don't stabilize in it. And this, might be, I don't know, a little triggering for maybe some of you hearing it, but it needs to be said. And I've seen this shift in my own spaces and in the mentoring that I've been doing, especially over the last few years, based on this premise that I'm going to share with you. I have seen the most radical shifts. So you know how when if you're in the personal development spaces, maybe you are teaching personal development, or maybe you are someone who's on the receiving end of personal development, and you are in the space of trying to better yourself. You're trying to experience more of your ideal reality, more of your preferred ideal life. And you may be even shopping around for a mentor to work with. And in traditional marketing, there is, the know, like, and trust factor, which I'll probably do another video on that. But once you start buying into that, you're never done with know, like, and trust. I mean, the way it's traditionally taught is that eventually there's going to be everyone's going to know you. And so you won't have to develop know, like, and trust anymore. But there's always someone new coming into your space. So if you buy into this idea that no one will work with you unless there's the know, like, and trust factor, then you're never done feeding that monster. But the other thing, which is kind of on the piggybacking the idea of the know, like, and trust factor, is if you have testimonials, and they are these glowing testimonials with, huge movements and quote unquote quantum leaps and, radically overnight reality shifting results. Okay. If that's the thing that is, number one, being taught by mentors and gurus to, bring in your ideal clients because they're so over the moon and so excited to work with you, those kind of results, number one, they're unsustainable over time. Secondly, that kind of radical shift, as exciting and celebratory as it is, that excitement feels like anxiety to the nervous system. It feels like fear to the nervous system. An abrupt change is disruptive to the nervous system. It kind of shreds it. It fizzles it out. It's working on overdrive, aka, in other words, it's working in survival mode. Because it's saying, wait, we were going along at this pace, and then all of a sudden, whammo, all this stuff happens. And whether it's good or bad, those are false dichotomies that we're still playing with. And those are constructs in our own mind. The way the nervous system reads it is we were going along with this even keel and what we recognized as normal, and now we're not normal. So when you are anchoring a new identity, what feels normal? What feels regular? What feels like every day, something you would expect to show up, know is going to happen, kind of, accept that is your reality. That's what makes an identity stick. That's how the nervous system says, oh, okay, we're safe to operate in this space because this is our normal. This is what we accept. This is what we know. This is what's familiar. The nervous system doesn't read good or bad like some big whammo, blammo, exciting thing that you celebrate. And I'm not saying don't celebrate life, but what I'm saying here really is, what if you're living a life that feels exceptional, and that exceptional is ordinary for you. It's familiar to you. It's safe for you. And then in that, every day is a celebration because you love living your life every day instead of looking forward to the next big quote unquote quantum leap. I have a lot of feelings about that marketing jargon as well. In my spaces, what I like to impress upon the clients that I work with is that you will stabilize into what feels normal every day because it feels safe. And your nervous system recognizes what feels safe as you. So if you are shifting into your more ideal preferred reality, it's not about these whammo blammo moments of overnight shifts where you're suddenly making $20,000 where you were flat broke before. On paper, that sounds great. It sounds good. As far as your nervous system is concerned, it's fucking go time. It's time to scramble. It's time to, make a mad dash for the first thing that feels like safety. And that's why those big celebratory moments, those quantum leaps, are so often sabotaged. And who sabotages them? You do. The part of you that doesn't feel safe to have it. So it is about developing slowly over time a sense of safety with a reality that's more preferable to you. This isn't done by a huge, grandiose shift that happens in a 24-hour period. It doesn't happen from some, breakthrough. Breakthroughs happen, and that's wonderful. But it's about what you do with the breakthrough. It's about how the nervous system responds to the breakthrough. It's about how you follow up to that breakthrough. And when you think about your identity that you have right now, about yourself, how you define yourself, whether you prefer that or not, it's been stabilized over time. You created momentum with it over time by making micro decisions that stabilize you in that identity over and over again, over time. The same is true for establishing a new identity. And it's not done through 3 or 4 whammo blammo moments. It's done through, hey, this happened today, but it feels totally normal for me. Like, yeah, I'm kind of celebrating and it's awesome. It feels good. But it also feels like in this version that I've been cultivating, this version of me, this more preferred reality that I've been nourishing, this just feels like the next logical thing that should have shown up. I expected it. Maybe I didn't expect it to come from this place, or at this time, or through this person, or through this situation. That's secondary. That doesn't matter. It's about how you feel in that shift and in that moment, if it feels normal, if it feels expected, if it feels like an everyday, like, oh, this is just me, this is just who I am now. You'll stabilize in that. So if you read my testimonials from my clients, they're not these big, massive, grandiose, shifting moments. It's about, hey, I've been showing up and I've been in this space of holding space, of creating space, and pauses and stillness for myself, breathing into each moment and being really present with myself and saying, this feels good. I like this. More of this, please. What kind of micro decisions can I make today to stabilize into that and create more momentum with that? Oh, this is an interesting curveball life threw at me today. If I create space in this, enough to say, I really don't prefer that anymore. That's the old me. That's the 1.0 version of me. I'm no longer cultivating that. I'm no longer asking life to meet me at that level. I'm asking life to meet me with all the beautiful alignments of the right relationships, the right kind of communication and connection with people, the money situation. I'm expecting, and I am nourishing that 2.0 version of myself with every micro decision I make to cultivate that. It's an everyday thing. It's not these one-off breakthrough shifts. They're not sustainable. And so, yeah, if you read my testimonials, that's the kind of stuff that you see. Just almost like, to paraphrase a few of the testimonials I've had lately, it's about, I woke up this morning and I just felt okay with this thing. It just felt like, okay, I can move on from this, or I can move from this energy today. The old version of me would have saw this as, a real nail-biting challenge, and I probably would have never put myself in the situation, but now it just feels like this is who I am. These are the kinds of things I do. It doesn't feel challenging. It just feels like who I am. And it's almost like, like some days you wake up and you say, oh, this is me now. All right, let's see what else we got. What other micro decisions can I make? What other micro upgrades that would be in alignment with this shift that just feels so natural and normal and everyday for me? And so when I see, a lot of these posts that and a lot of teachings and teachers that thrive on this kind of sometimes manufactured excitement, but sometimes these big, blowout changes that shift you overnight, it's not necessarily the healthiest thing for your ego to experience, because if your ego doesn't feel safe, it'll find a way to sabotage it. Your ego is incredibly creative. You go into a survival state with the nervous system, even if it feels like celebratory excitement, your nervous system still can read it as fear, as anxiety, and often does, because they feel the same in the body. You have the same physiological responses in the body, whether you're feeling anxiety or excitement. Think about it that way. Heart racing, pupils dilating, your skin feeling like it's on fire. The body, the nervous system reads that the same, excitement and anxiety. So instead of putting your nervous system, your entire body, your entire physiological response through the ringer, why not? And you could just ask yourself, wouldn't it make more sense if I'm making these shifts that feel like the most natural progression and evolution for me? And they don't have to be these big challenging moments. It doesn't have to be good or bad. It doesn't have to be easy or difficult. Those are false dichotomies that live in my own mental construct. There is nothing truly that is good or bad. There is nothing truly that is, light or dark. It's all part of the same energy. These are false dichotomies, good or bad, difficult or easy. These are formations of our own perceptual bias. They're not facts in the real world because they're not universally held. Everyone has different ideas about big or small. Everyone has different ideas about good or bad. Everyone has different ideas about easy and difficult. There is just what is. And if we can start by accepting what is, accepting that we can separate our reality, if we want to, into two different categories: what's preferred and what's not preferred. And if you are clear on what your preferred is, chances are you're already really damn clear about what your unpreferred reality is. But if you can get more clarity on what your preferred reality is, and start making just some micro decisions. That means just everyday decisions. I don't want to talk about them being big or small, because that's going to be different for everybody. That's very subjective. It has everything to do with your perceptual bias, has nothing to do with the facts or a universally held idea about big or small, easy or difficult. And I know I'm belaboring that point, but we get so wrapped up in that. Micro decisions every day, so that a shift into the more preferred feels like a normal transition. It feels safe. And let all the other ideas go about huge breakthrough moments and massive overnight shifts. They actually, and I've seen this from being a coach and a mentor for over 20 years now, they do more harm than good. And they set up a lot of space for self-sabotage. I've seen it over and over again, and yes, I'm guilty of it myself. So I just wanted to share that with you today. And I do offer one-to-one. I do offer group coaching. I have a mentorship that's coming up, again, for enrollment, and I'll be starting that in September. I have Genius Fractal, which is my unique teachings of the invisible circuits in the golden path activation sequence of your gene keys. And you can read about more of what I do in the description of this video. And I hope this message finds you well. Have a great day.